Hi lovelies! Every once in a while, a recipe comes along that is a total game changer. And I have to say, that is definitely the case with these absolutely incredible 2-ingredient bagels. Yes, so these are soft and delicious, and they're so easy to make because, like I said, they contain only 2 ingredients: some self-raising flour and some plain Greek yogurt. This is the perfect project for a weekend and also a great project for the kids to help with because it doesn't involve anything like raw egg, for example, that they might try to eat. Now, just a couple things to keep in mind before we get started. If you don't have self-rising flour at home in your pantry, you can always go ahead and make your own by simply combining some regular all-purpose flour with some baking powder and some salt. I'll leave the full measurements in the description box below if you want to try to make your own. It's actually really easy. But of course, that would be 4 ingredients, and these are 2-ingredient bagels. So we're going to be making 4 good-sized bagels with this recipe. So I'm starting with 1 3/4 cups of self-rising flour in my bowl. And to that, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt. It's really important to use plain yogurt in this recipe because we don't, of course, want any added sugar here. And it's also important to use Greek yogurt because we want the yogurt we're using to be nice and thick. Different types of yogurt have different levels of moisture. So I'm using 1 cup here, but if you find your dough is a little on the dry side, you may need to add a little bit more. And now that these 2 simple ingredients are in my bowl, the magic is about to unfold. So just to start getting these combined, I'm going to use a wooden spoon. And as soon as a scraggly dough starts to form, that's when I know it's time to replace my wooden spoon with the most handy kitchen tools of all, my hands. That's right, I'm gonna use my hands to bring this dough together until it starts to form a ball. Now, the cool part about this recipe is that the flavor possibilities of these bagels are really endless. So you're gonna start with your 2 ingredients, just like this, and then whatever you wanna add into your dough or to the tops of your bagels, you totally can, because you're gonna start with a really classic sort of plain bagel recipe. And I just wanna sort of help this along and help it all come together until it forms a nice ball. All right, now that my dough has come together, I just want to give it a quick knead on a lightly floured surface. You could do this on a pastry board or a cutting board. I'm gonna do it right on my counter. Keep things simple, who needs more dishes? So we want to knead this dough really, really well for about 4 to 5 minutes, or until it becomes nice and elastic and pliable and smooth. And that's how you know it is time to form your delicious bagels. So friends, all of my hard work and dedication has really paid off. I've got this gorgeous ball of really elastic dough. And what I wanna do is just divide it into 4 equal pieces, because of course I want my bagels to be totally even. So once I've got it divided, like so, I'm just going to set my other pieces aside, and I'll just work with a single piece to start forming my bagel. So I'm just gonna get started by rolling 1 piece of dough in my hands until it forms a nice sphere. Then I'm gonna go ahead and use my thumbs to create a hole right in the center of the dough. And once I've got a really nice bagel shape happening, like so, I'm gonna go ahead and arrange this on a baking sheet I've got lined with some parchment paper. I wanna give these some space so that they can rise, and then we'll do it all over again. The process is actually surprisingly easy. I'd like to do some more baking on the show. Are you guys interested in seeing that? If you are, please take some time to just leave a comment below and let me know what you want to see, because I used to do a lot of baking when I first launched the channel, and then I've done less baking in the last little while. So if you want to see more baking, let me know. Now, just as soon as my bagels are formed, they are ready for baking. And what was that, like 10 minutes of labor in the kitchen for these amazing homemade bagels? Now, to be clear, you could go ahead at this point and bake these just as they are. 2 ingredients, no muss, no fuss. But I wanna make these even more delicious. So I'm actually going to be adding a little bit of everything bagel seasoning to the tops of these to make them super tasty. Now, to make sure that they stick, I also am going to add a little bit of egg wash. Not only is it going to help my everything bagel seasoning adhere to my bagels, it's also going to add a bit of a rich golden color to these. You can skip it if you want to. If you want to leave these egg-free, not a problem. But I do like that golden color. You could also do this with a little bit of butter or some olive oil if you wanted to instead. Next, I am going to sprinkle on liberally my amazing everything seasoning blend. Now you can buy this seasoning blend in the spice aisle at most supermarkets now, or you can order it online, but I actually like to make my very own at home, and it's a lot easier than you might think. It's just a combination of some sesame seeds, poppy seeds, granulated garlic and onion, and a little bit of salt. I'll link a full recipe in the description box below if you want to give it a try for yourselves. And there you have it, friends. These are headed into the oven. It's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna let them cook out for between 20 and 24 minutes. You'll wanna keep a close eye on them. And just as soon as they turn nice and golden brown on the exterior, you know they are ready to come out of the oven. Oh my gosh, friends. These look incredible and they smell outrageous. They're nice and golden. They've got a nice crisp exterior thanks to that everything seasoning blend. And I cannot wait to dig in. I'm gonna let these guys cool for maybe 5 minutes before digging in. I know how hard that wait can be, but trust me, it will all be worth it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I'm gonna chop it, of course, with some cream cheese, the way a bagel is meant to be enjoyed. And now the moment of truth. Holy smokes. That is incredible. Soft, chewy, moist, exactly what you want a bagel to be. They can be toasted or eaten plain, and they can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. So go ahead, make a double or triple batch because there is so much to love. Guys, I hope you love this recipe as much as I do and that you will give it a try for yourselves. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. This recipe, like all of my recipes, is featured on healthymealplans.com, our amazing meal planning site that allows you to browse more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generates your grocery list for the week. What could be easier than that? Thank you as always so much for watching, and finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from. Bagel deliciousness.